in India as it is in America. And America is extremely sensitive. And in fact, one of the problems we have politically in the US right now is that we kind of mix two issues at the same time. The jobs that we lost from trade and the jobs that we lost from automation and robotics. Many of you have probably heard of the term dark factory, perhaps. So the dark factory is a factory where there's no humans. All the lights are turned off because you don't need lights. It's all robots. There's not even any heat as well, too. This is something that has caused more job loss in manufacturing than all the free trade and all the other kind of issues that we associate with human activity as well. That's the first. But let me suggest something. There's no doubt going to be a lot of very controversial things that AI does that's going to cost jobs. In my industry, for instance, I love everything about the software industry except for writing software and dealing with software programmers. Right? Everything else is great, but I just hate dealing with that as well. Those jobs are going to go away, and that's going to be very sensitive because we've been telling people learn to code, learn to code. But I agree, sir. No, bad advice, bad advice, bad advice as well. And so here's what I would suggest to young people. It's one thing to say that, oh, well, something's going to be bad or something's going to be diminished as well, too. But what should I do then? What's the advice? And let me suggest something. Something that's never going to be out of season as well. I had a very good boss once when I was in the Defense Department. Unusual person, not really a government person, more of a private sector person. He used to work for Steve Ballmer, who, of course, is the former CEO of Microsoft. He was my boss when I was in the Defense Department. And once I was struggling to manage my team, and he calls me into his office like, Mike, let me give you some advice here. Once, when I was just like you, a young manager, I was on Steve Ballmer's jet complaining to him, like, oh God, I have these developers. I pay them so much. They never listen to me. Steve, you're not paying me enough for this. He said, and to which Ballmer stopped at a meeting. He said, no, I'm paying you exactly what you deserve. The truth is, in Microsoft, nobody is worth more than $92,000 a year just on technical productivity. Every dollar above that is how much BS you can take as well. So my point there is to say that when it comes to managing people, when it comes to understanding how to run an organization, those skills will always be in demand as well. So don't plan your career around technology. Plan your career around the things that we will always eternally need as humans. Managing people, managing creativity, using the imagination, thinking ahead as well. And if you do that, you never have to worry about losing your job.
Okay. Mr. Manage. Hello. So, career on technology. You should have your hard skills. Correct? For example, today we don't have a mechanical engineer. I'm giving you one. We don't have an electrical engineer. We have all computer science. Where is the core? That's an application.
There is no job in the other coding.
No, absolutely wrong. You make power plants, not of computer engineers. They are made for mechanical engineers, by electrical engineers. They are made for chemical engineers. I'm just giving example. Or architectural engineers, right? So my point is today we are facing a shortage of core competence. You please develop the core competence and apply technology on it. Technology is not the core competence as he's trying to say. If you base yourself on technology to not even do your job, like internet bubble, you've lost. Because they were finding after something which is not there. It's virtual. So my point is develop your core competence in various functional skills, whether it may be a teacher, whether it may be an engineer or a doctor, you still need one, right? Machines will not take decision. Machines will take input from you. You take the machine. Machines don't make you.
Account people.
I'll give an example. Do we? No, they will not be there. No, they will not be there. They will have to upskill. I never had a stenotypist. Somebody said, I have a stenotypist. You heard of the word stenotypist? I don't have stenotypist. I have digital assistant and chatbots and assistant who is assisting me. I have to learn that stenotypist will go up with the learning curve, do something else. Yes, he's left up to his skill. Otherwise, you're outdated. You were wearing a dhoti few years back. Now, why you're wearing a jeans and shirt? You're upscared. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. You will have to. Today, yesterday, you were standing in line to make a queue to book a rail ticket. You were standing for yellow taxis. Now, why do you use Ola and Uber? Are you not taking those jobs? So my point is, you have to upscale, you have to upscale, and up to my knowledge, sorry for everybody, AI will not take jobs. It will create jobs.
Correct. Correct.
So when computers came, you had to learn computer, right? Now,
Sir,
no, not everybody, everybody.
Okay,
Use a
so,
mobile.
Mr. Sriram and Mr. Shaha, could you please add something to it?
just trying to in reality also see a human life. Every day we are evolving, we are transforming. COVID first, right? Most of us survive. Why we survive? Because our body transformed, adopted, right? So it's a natural process. So here also, what Vashishta was saying, we need to evolve, we need to transform. We cannot keep on one thing and say, I will be continuing with this. Everyone is striving for that.
Right. Just to add to that, I think there are two things. These are constant. And if you look back at history, right from automotive revolution, which has created so many jobs to computers, this is a passing phase. We will have to upskill, right? So my mother used to not use the phone for anything other than calling. She stays in Bangalore with me, and she uses it more than I do today. Send WhatsApp to chat to our friends to do what we call a my gate. We use this my application for anybody to. God knows she has a Facebook account. I don't have one. So it's people. This is theory of evolution repeating itself again and again in various forms. What I do.
Sir, I have a small question.
So one second.
Okay. Sir, like you shared the example.
Craft of making the complex simple, making the simple general as well. All the great unifications of science is when we realize, wait a minute, this thing and this thing, they're actually the same thing. They're actually the same thing. So much of physics and chemistry and everything else is because of that as well. Let me give you one example before we get into that. For a long time, it was thought that, speaking as a former chemist myself, that the seat of heredity, how we transmit our genes, must be a protein. For all the information in heredity that must be so complex, it must be a protein. It can't be anything else. But no, it's DNA, just four base pairs. Very, very simple. And so much of science is like that. It's when we discover that things are simple rather than complex. Now, what I'll tell you about human nature is that it's just like that. What we're discovering is that no, love is not mysterious. You have a 39-factor model, 2% divorce rate. That's what we said. No, employment is not complicated. 5 questions, standard machine reading, better statistics across the board as well too. And go on to your movies now. Now, movie taste isn't complex. Just some basic linear algebra, and I can figure out your taste as well too. And that's what's really remarkable about the age of AI in which we live, is that we're also seeing that principle of science play out in understanding our human behavior as well. The things that we thought were so mysterious actually are very simple as well. And that's the best way I can explain it. It's part of the word general phenomenon.
So for generating text, background information, background learning, okay, some methodology. Okay, so based on that, it's a very complex thing. So many aspects to be looked into, many variables, many things to be looked into. So based on that, today a summarization of not only video, data, movie or something else. So it's being done by large language models. So other question, yes.
Good evening, sir. A student of a B school, ISW in Kolkata. I'm here also representing the young generation, young youth stars here. And my professor is sitting in front of me. He used to tell about the artificial intelligences regarding this in our classes. And I am highly appreciating that. And as a youngster, I also believe that AI is not going to take our job. AI definitely will create a job. And somehow we are also using this AI for proving ourselves better. But sir, and definitely I am considering this AI as a revolution of technology, and we need being in a 21st century, we definitely need more upgradation in technology, more revolution of technology, and we can expect that. But few years back, we have also seen uh, another revolution when the computer came into the market. As a student of a business school, as a future manager, our concern is that on that situation, there was a huge changes and challenges of our employees' work-life balance and the work culture. As a representative of Youth Stars and as a future manager, I am asking you from any one of your panelists, how, this session is also the decision making strategy, this for the decision making strategy. What will be our strategy when the AI will totally control all the works of our life? How we can balance the work life of our employees as well as us also, and how the challenges of work culture will be managed.
I think there are two, three things here. You use the word control, right? So the idea is there's a certain difference between control and assisting. Right? So I feel that technology would assist us in making better decisions, or rather than controlling our decisions. Now that's a fine thin line. If you just blindly follow whatever it says and don't do course correction, then it could be dangerous. Right? Now, what has caused the imbalance in work life to a large extent happened in the last 2 decades, of which I am a part of as well. We, as a country, probably, if I, my best part of my life or my wife comes from US, that's what we're talking. Then you have a perfect wife, you call work-life balance. People start work, they put the phone there, they don't touch the phone, they go back at 5 in the evening, they don't touch the phone. Right? It's all personal time. Back in India, you may not know, you have calls starting at 7 in the morning, at least in IT, I can tell that. It's in the manufacturing as well. It may end at 11 or 12. It's not something that was created by a machine or by a, this one. It's us who brought it upon us to be wanting to prove to somebody that we are much better. Correct? Why should I take a phone call at 9 in the evening from my boss? Your boss, he'll call you twice, thrice. I want to please my boss, so I take it. Right? Let's say you still want to continue to do that. At least AI could assist you better or your boss better to say that, you know what, don't call him. This is what is the problem, it will be solved like this. Or it could be solved in these three ways. Right? So in my opinion, it would assist, and this work-life balance is something a mistake of a human rather than a technology, wanting to prove to the world or to a person or an individual or organization that we are better than somebody. We try to overwork, and I see it day in day out. I send a mail at 12 because that was convenient time for me. I don't expect my subordinate to respond. But we guys respond at 1 o'clock. Next day, I call them in the office. Who asked you to respond? Yeah, my convenient time. I'm traveling from Kolkata. I land in Bangalore at 12:15. So I want to clear my mails. It's my problem. But I'm not calling you at 12 to say respond to this. People do. And that's something probably, I don't know, it could be cultural reason. I mean, maybe elders can say, but
See, in work-life balance, right? A lot of information comes in. Somebody made a comment on work-life. It went viral. My point is, I think AI makes life simpler, correct? Like you were trying to say, somebody wants to call you for some judgment or some answer, right? Then actually should will be taken by that person on the field because he has the machine with him will tell him what to say. I cannot call him. So my life will be simple. Correct? This is what I feel. The second is there are very important things. A patient is suffering from heart attack. I think he should take a call. A power line has failed. Thousands of people under darkness. I think that call should go. Right? So there are some services which are essential services. A fire, it should be there. So I think this will help in such a conditions. And work-life balance is the point. There are some times if the life will be automated, so I think the life will be better. Right? To my knowledge, unless until you have a habit of yourself taking up the phone and looking at Facebook and looking at LinkedIn and sending a WhatsApp message and waiting for that person to reply, sending a mail, waiting, why the man is not replying to me? Then I will again call him, why did you reply? It's created by a person, not by the system. To my knowledge.
So, okay, let us now conclude. Our time is short. So, very short. Last question now. Question is actually silly. We don't have.
Historical data.
Optimization, if you ask this.
Hello.
I just want very selectively in the medical science with the AI, like they see that in the predicting analytics as well as prescriptive analytics. How is it going to progress in the medicine field? That's my first question. What about the R&D? How we can be so much dependent? Very recently, I was in USA. I was catching a flight from Minneapolis to Toronto. My flight got cancelled for 3 days because there was a problem in some software. All the civil aviation department got approved. And what he said in the emergency department, emergency services, he would call and work 24 hours and sort it out manually. So you have the human factor also.
We might need another AI system to.
Yes. So you just tell me in the
Okay.
medical field.
So after the session, we have a discussion. Let us now conclude. So in this session, we have learned the role of AI in running businesses, and what are the different modalities of data. So what about your means structured data, unstructured data, and what are the challenges behind it? So all these things are very much necessary, and we need to we need to discuss more in future. So thank you everybody. Thanks the panelists and thanks the audience for listening to listening to us. Okay. So please.
Thank you, everyone. It was indeed a very gripping session, and I'm sure a lot of you all have a lot of questions which you all would like to answer. We would be happy to field them. Please send us an email, and we would be sure to guide you with an answer. I would request now Miss Elizabeth, since she's here, to please tell us a few parting words. And thank you once again to all my panelists. It was indeed a wonderful session, and I wish we can do a part two of this because I'm sure there will be a lot of interest which we will have towards this. Thank you to the US Consulate for coming together on this. This was indeed a wonderful idea. I thank you all for your patience, the audience, the panelists. And there is a small token which we would like to give to everyone. But before that, may I request Elizabeth to say a few words, please. Hands together for Elizabeth, please.
Can you hear me if I just talk like this? Okay. I'm here's some okay. Normally I am loud enough that I can be heard over several hundred, if not thousand people. I am just that kind of voice. Thank you all again so much for coming today. Some of you came from several thousand miles away, some from a few hundred, some from a few minutes away. So we really appreciate you all taking the time. AI is obviously incredibly important, and it is an important tool. And we have a lot of questions, and that is to me exciting because it shows how much more we have to do, how much more we are able to grow, and it shows how much potential we have as we move toward the future. So thank you all again for taking the time. I won't belabor the point of all, but I do want to say one more time thank you to our panelists. Thank you so much. Thank you to the IACC for working with us on this, and thank you all again for coming tonight. Thank you.
Elizabeth, I would ask you to please stay on. So we have a small token of an appreciation towards Mr. Michael Shea, our chief guest for the evening. Elizabeth, can I request you to please present Michael? Please do, please do.
All right, I'm gonna stand and if you can get
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, kids.